All right. I'm gonna go ahead and get started here. Welcome everyone to another segment of Numbers with Nick. Thanks for joining us today. My name is Nick Zupan. I'm the epidemiologist with the Rock County Public Health Department. So today we're just going to be talking over some of the latest in terms of our COVID activity in Rock County. And we're also going to go over some revisions to our COVID-19 vaccine dashboard that we'll be rolling out today. So as always, you can always put your questions into the chat box if you have them as we're going along in the video today. We'll try to answer questions at the end of the video if there are any that come up. And as always, as well, you can always put your questions to us via social media at any time, and we'll try to get back to you as soon as we can. So without further ado, let's get into today's content. So the graph that I have up on the screen right now is the trends that we're seeing over time and the number of new cases that are being reported to the health department in terms of COVID-19 cases. And the yellow line is the 7-day moving average. So just to give you a sense of kind of where we've come over the past year and a couple months, you can see how many new cases there have been and when the trends have kind of peaked and dropped. So obviously we saw the most of our COVID activity kind of occurring between the months of October and December. We saw a lot of COVID activity in terms of new cases. We saw a lot of people needing to be hospitalized for COVID-19. Since that time, the numbers have dropped significantly. We've seen some ups and downs kind of since that time frame. A little bit of COVID activity happened right after kind of the Christmas and winter holidays. And in mid-March, we saw kind of the lowest point of COVID activity that we've seen over the course of the whole pandemic. So this was when vaccine uptake was relatively high. And we're also kind of still in a period of people staying at home. The weather wasn't so great, so we weren't out and about. We weren't getting together as much in the community. Since we've seen the weather warm up and the vaccine rollout take place, we're seeing a little bit more activity in our community. And so we're going to see a little bit more case activity in terms of the spread of COVID-19. You can see kind of the tail end of the graph. We're trending in an upward direction in terms of our new cases over time. So right now we're averaging right around 35 cases per day in the last week in terms of number of cases being reported to the health department. So we are seeing still kind of a small increase, incremental increase over the last couple of weeks now. And unfortunately, the hospitalization rates have followed suit in terms of we're seeing increases in our hospitalized cases as well. So, you know, I've said this before, but we're not out of the woods yet in terms of this pandemic. Things are improving in terms of ongoing rollout of the vaccine and reduction in the number of people who are becoming severely ill, who are at higher risk for some complications due to COVID. But we still need to continue to wear masks around people who are not vaccinated and making sure that we're kind of avoiding those crowded places in public and doing the things that we need to do to protect ourselves and our families. So that's kind of where we're at in terms of our COVID activity. And I'm going to switch gears here and just go through some of the revisions that we have made and we will be making public on our vaccine dashboard. So just to kind of give some background about what we're looking at, the vaccine dashboard has been up for a few months now in terms of tracking the rollout of the COVID-19 vaccine in Rock County. And one of the things that we have tried to do is provide information about who is being vaccinated and what age groups are being vaccinated at what rate, and also trying to look at some of the differences by race and ethnicity. For the course of the kind of the vaccine rollout, what we've had is this graph on the upper left-hand corner, which shows the number of people who are vaccinated out of the total eligible population. So right now, the vaccine has not been approved for use among children who are 15 and under. And so that is a significant portion of the population. About 20% of our population is currently not eligible for the vaccine. So when we're taking a look at our vaccine rollout, one of the ways we can portray the information is how many people have been vaccinated based on the total number of people who are eligible to receive the vaccine. And so we've had this information on our dashboard for a while. The other piece of information that we do want to share is how many people are vaccinated out of the total population. So when we talk about vaccination rates and herd immunity, we need to understand how the vaccine is distributed across the entire population and not just among those who are eligible to receive the vaccine, because anyone can get COVID in the community regardless of age. And so that's something we need to take into account when we're talking about what percent of our population has coverage and is protected from the vaccine. So what we have now is a new graph in the middle, the kind of top middle of the page, and this portrays that information. So it gives you a sense of how many people are vaccinated, how many people are not vaccinated but are eligible, and then how many people are currently not eligible to receive the vaccine. And like all of these graphs, you can toggle between the number of people who are in the first dose category, and we can also toggle and take a look at how many people have completed the vaccine series. So again, this is the number of people who have gotten 2 doses of the Pfizer or Moderna vaccine, or have gotten 1 dose of the Johnson & Johnson vaccine. So that is just some additional information that we're providing on the dashboard starting today, so we can get a sense of how many people kind of are in this area where they're eligible to receive the vaccine, but aren't yet vaccinated with respect to how many people are vaccinated, and also taking into account that there is a sizable chunk of our population who can't be protected from the vaccine currently because it's not approved for use in those age groups. As we move forward, we will update this information on a regular basis. This information is updated every day, every weekday. And as we learn more about new groups that are made eligible to receive the vaccine, we will, of course, change these numbers and update the figures appropriately. Some good news that seems to be on the horizon is that it sounds like there is going to be an announcement made in the near future about the 12 to 15-year-old population with respect to being eligible to get the Pfizer vaccine. This announcement has not yet been made at this time, but we'll be eagerly awaiting that news, and we will push out the communication on that as soon as that announcement is made. In terms of the rest of the dashboard, not a whole lot has changed. We did remove one of the graphs, which portrayed the number of people vaccinated based on male or female identification. We felt that given the options for what kind of information we could portray and trying to avoid making this dashboard any more cluttered than it is already, we elected to omit that information. But if you feel strongly about wanting to know that information about the male-female split of vaccine rollout, you're always more than welcome to reach out to us, and we can get back to you with that information. So the other pieces of information that are housed in this dashboard are the vaccine rollout by age group. And again, you can toggle between those who have gotten the first dose and those who have completed the vaccine series to see how that data bears out. We also have information about the number of doses that have been administered by the manufacturer. We have information about dose administration by race and also by ethnicity, so we can see how the distribution of the vaccine differs by race and ethnicity, both for the first dose and the second dose, or completing the series. So at this point, that is the information that I wanted to share on this video today. So this is somewhat breaking information. We'll be updating this dashboard on our website this afternoon, so you can look for that to be going live this afternoon. So you get a first view on this video. If you're joining us live, you'll get to see that before anyone else does in the community. I'm going to check the chat box to see if there are any questions. Doesn't look like any questions have come through. So we're going to close out the video for today, but again, thank you for joining us. If you do have questions, feel free to reach out via social media, and we'll see you in a couple weeks. Stay safe and healthy, everyone, and also have a happy Mother's Day weekend this weekend. All right, take care, everyone. Goodbye.